Hi guys, welcome back to Dimitra's Dishes. I'm so excited to bring you today's recipe because it is one of the easiest desserts that I've ever made on this channel. It's going to be a puff pastry chocolate hazelnut heart. You can change this recipe up in so many different ways, and we'll go over that afterwards. After we go over the ingredients, which are so few and simple, you probably already have them in your house. Now, we need 2 sheets of puff pastry. I have one in my freezer chilling, and then we're going to roll this one out in a second. We need some powdered sugar that I have in here, just a little bit of chopped hazelnuts. Leave them out if you don't want any nuts in there. Your favorite chocolate hazelnut spread like Nutella, or I even have a really awesome recipe that I'll link in the description box below. And then we have some egg wash, which is basically just an egg yolk with a little bit of water, just mixed up because it's going to be the glaze on top, which is going to make it nice and golden. And then I have some granulated sugar with some ground cinnamon over here, and you'll see where we're going to take this later on. Now, I have this template that has been used a lot because I've made this a few times already. It's basically parchment paper, but you can use any kind of paper. And I've just cut out about a 12-inch wide heart. And we're going to use that to make a heart-shaped puff pastry. This is delicious. This is perfect for like a date night, or Valentine's Day is around the corner, and if you celebrate it, this is great. We're just going to roll this out so that way it can be just a tiny bit bigger than this heart, just a little bit bigger than 12 inches. I just have some flour underneath this puff pastry. It's going to help it roll out easier. Each time we roll from one end to the other, we are going to flip it so that way it's even all around. And I'll check it with my template to see for this, to check the size. Really simple, really easy. Let's see. Perfect, just like that. So either using a knife or a pizza cutter or whatever, a round roller, you just go around and you cut the puff pastry the size of the heart. Very, very simple. Now, we're going to take this dough that's left over, and the reason we have the sugar and cinnamon mixture on the side is because we're just going to roll this in there because we don't want to waste anything. I'm just going to transfer this to my baking tray. Now you can put it in a half-sheet baking tray, like a rectangular one. If you have a round one like this, because if you bake lots of pizza or cookie cakes like I do, you'll have this laying around in your house. But this does fit in a traditional half-sheet aluminum baking pan. Just going to fold it over to transfer it on here really easily. It might be easier to chill this about 10 minutes in your freezer, so that way when you're spreading the chocolate hazelnut spread on there, it'll make it much easier. It's completely up to you. So now we have both pieces of puff pastry cut out into these beautiful hearts. One is for the bottom and the other one will be for the top. I chilled this a little bit in my freezer for about 10 minutes or so. We're just going to distribute this chocolate hazelnut spread evenly on top of the heart. And it's easily done if you have this little mini ice cream scoop or like a melon baller. You can go ahead and do this. And then take a little flat icing spatula and just spread it. Now you want to sprinkle your chopped up hazelnuts. Now I'm using hazelnuts. You can completely leave them out. You can chop up some strawberries or any dried fruit that you like. You could even put some chocolate chips in here. Really, the sky's the limit, however you want to dress this up. But here it is. Now we're just going to put the top, which is the other heart on here, the top heart. And it's really easy to fold it in half and do this. So that way it goes on really easily, just like that. Kind of press down the edges a little bit. And then we are just going to make little slices. We're going to slice all the way from the bottom up towards the center, creating little strips that we're going to roll up so that can be really beautiful and decorative. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take each piece and you're just going to turn it to create these little twists. Once you're done creating all the twists all around, you're just going to brush it with egg wash so that way it bakes up to a golden perfection. My oven is preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to put this inside to bake until it's really nice and golden and puffy, and that'll take anywhere between 15 and 20 minutes. And we don't want any of these little strips to go to waste, so that's why I have this cinnamon sugar mixture that I'm just going to dip my little strips in and kind of roll them up. And then I'm just going to bake them aside. I'm just going to use these for drinking tea with and stuff like that. I just don't want them to go to waste. If you wanted to, you can just refreeze these and that would be fine too. But since I'm baking already and my oven is already nice and hot, I'm just going to go ahead and bake these up side by side too. And I'll show you what everything looks like when it's ready. So the chocolate heart took me exactly 20 minutes in my oven, but it depends on your oven how long it'll take. Once it comes out, it's ready to serve. You want to serve this while it's really nice and hot. Dust it with some confectioner sugar. And if you wanted to put some cocoa powder on top, you could do that as well. Let me cut into it so I could show you what it looks like. And also one more thing, this is one dessert that you want to bake right before you serve it. So you can put the whole thing together in the morning and leave it in your refrigerator, and then as your guests are sitting, maybe waiting and eating dinner, you can just pop this in the oven because it takes no time. And you want it to be really nice and hot so it could be ooey gooey and like crisp from the pastry. Look at how it looks. It's so beautiful. You can see the chocolate hazelnuts and the chocolate hazelnut spread. So this is that perfect dessert, especially if you're serving it at a little get-together or a party, if you want to bring it. If it's your job to bring dessert, or even if it's not, seriously, who is not super happy to see somebody show up with a dessert that looks like this to their house? Now, you could also take a look at the little cinnamon sugar twirls, whatever you want to call these, that we made. You never want to waste anything. These taste super good with coffee or tea. Now, the recipe with the exact measurements and ingredients is on the website, dimitrasdishes.com. Let me know what you think. Post comments in the comment section down below. Let me know what you use to switch it up and make it different, like what combinations you use. Thank you for spending time with me today. I'm going to enjoy this as it cools, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.